This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Rupert Verco, the CEO of Cobra Resources, following the anticipated Boland Re-Assay results. Well, thank you for your time. Rupert, how are you?
Very well, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, it's good to be catching up after this news. I know from when we've spoken before about what's to come with regards to these re-assays, you've been going through a lot of the old drilling that was mainly for the uranium. It was uranium focused, and considering expenses and cash for the company there, you were going to basically go back to the core library and XRF test and then re-assay some of the nicer looking cores for rare earth elements. So how's that gone? I mean, you've released those those results today here, and I know there's a photograph here that was in the, or graphic I should say, in the RNS. Is that all of the sort of assays that you did? There's a lot on that picture.
Sure, absolutely. So what we released today is the second tranche of re-assay results. It's a further 17 drill holes, and what it's shown for us is it's really firmed up the scale potential that we're seeing at Boland. We now have got confirmed mineralization within these geological units that have yielded ionic recoveries, very cost-effective metallurgy over 4 holes at the Boland prospect where we've put in a well field. And we're now seeing that mineralization over 33 square kilometres, and our modelling is showing that we have a significant growth opportunity to further extend that as well. So it's really been a cost-effective way for us, Mark, to de-risk follow-up drilling going forwards.
Yeah, okay. So that's, you've had showings effectively over 33 square kilometres, and is that what's represented in the graphic there?
Correct, that's right. That's effectively the orange zone, and then there's the zone further to the north that needs to be follow-up tested. So look, we'll go and infill and then do extensional drilling to this work in the coming months.
Yeah, okay. I know you talked about infilling. You mentioned follow-up testing there. How are you prioritising? I noticed from the RNS that 10 holes that you say showed high-grade intersections exceeding 1,000 ppm of total rare earth oxide with up to 40% heavy rare earth enrichment. So will you be going after these 10 as a starter for 10?
Absolutely. I think what those 10 holes have been able to show us is where we have areas within the system that appear to hold higher heavy rare earth and higher valuable grades. And what that is related to is probably a combination of source rock and the conditions within the paleo system. And that's going to really allow us to target in on these areas. And what the great thing is there is we're not expelling too many meters in our drilling programs to find these areas. We've been able to use the data we already have to vector in on them.
And am I right in, I think I recall mentioning last time that the drilling that will come next will effectively feed into a maiden rare earth resource estimate? Sure.
So we've defined a resource, clay-hosted resource over the top of our gold assets, but this will be working to define a maiden rare earth resource at Boland. And this is a separate project where we're looking to apply in situ leach recovery. And what's important around ISL or ISR, in situ recovery mining, is it's a materially lower cost. And that, coupled with the ionic metallurgy, presents as a very compelling opportunity for Cobra.
Okay. And when do you hope to be sort of planning that drill program and indeed getting it going?
Well, look, we're planning at present. We'd like to think that we would be ready to execute on the completion of getting metallurgical test results from our column leach tests. So we're looking in July and into August for that drilling program, and that drilling program will likely be done in 2 tranches. So we're being cost effective with our money again.
Okay, good. So July into August, so going into the summer there to keep investors informed throughout the summer months or the winter months, of course, in Australia.
Winter months over here, Mark. Correct.
Indeed, yeah. But no, that's nice to know. And I just want to have a look at this other picture. Of course, this is the bench testing, isn't it, that you've been working on here? That's the testing of that in situ recovery in a lab scale. So how is that going? Because I know that's very important for the company.
Yep, this is going very well. What we're trying to achieve here is we're trying to mimic and get the same ionic desorption recoveries under in situ leach conditions as we announced to the market in September from the standard AmSol wash process that's applied to ionic clays. Should we be able to demonstrate or emulate those recoveries under these conditions, it's really a game breaker for ionic ores because, look, there's a lot of challenges around processing clays. Many metallurgists and process engineers will tell you the challenges that you inherently have in gold processing plants and the like, dealing with high clay content ores. And what this means is we'll remove all those challenges and effectively reduce our mining costs by being able to implement the most cost-effective form of mining, which is in situ recovery.
Yeah, and of course you are almost you have the groundwork done on site, don't you, as well for a pilot study when that's ready to get going. Off the back of this bench scale testing, is it right you want to develop a flow sheet? We'll test it works first of all, then develop a flow sheet that you can then transport to the field and test for real? Yeah,
that's correct, Mark. So what this test work will do is it'll produce what's called a pregnant liquor solution. So that's rare earths in a solution, and then we'll use that solution to test a number of different pathways to define the most economic process of producing a mixed rare earth carbonate product, and that's a saleable product. So we're doing that through a partnership with Watercycle out of Manchester in the United Kingdom, and we'll also look at options using metallurgical groups in Australia as well.
Okay. And do you have an estimated timeline of how long the lab testing will be taking?
Look, it'll take a number of months to best refine that process, as it is reiterative in nature. But there'll be results that there'll be opportunities for us to update to the market on our progress as we work through them.
Good. Okay, so we can expect to hear some progress on the lab tests. You've got the metallurgical testing due as well fairly soon, and then looking to get drilling July, August. I hope we can perhaps be having a bit of a special feature maybe when those met tests come in and get deeper diving maybe on the project and what their drilling plans are. But for now, thank you very much for your time, Rupert Vercoe, the CEO of Cobra Resources.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks for your time.